All right. This may be a little bit emotional, so bear with me. But I wanted to share this with you because there's some major takeaways that we can all learn from my journey. And my journey is that of one that's been diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, recently I went for a regular colonoscopy and came back that they found cancer. You know, if anybody's ever faced cancer before, you understand that once you hear that word, you're automatically met with the understanding that life is short. You know, time is ticking away and none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. That put me on a journey of introspection, of self-reflection, of really evaluating my life and my goals. And I walked away with a couple of solid things that I think can help you on your journey, whether or not you're facing this, this disease or not. But there's ways that you can guarantee that you live a life well lived. And trust me, it's going to be eye-opening because it's not really what I thought it was. It really had to change my whole perspective. So I appreciate you tuning in. For the next couple of minutes, we'll kind of talk through those things. I know that if you've ever come in contact with cancer, if you had a loved one, everybody has a different journey with this particular disease. Some people have a lot more difficult time than others. There's those that catch it earlier, those that catch it later. There's a combination of radiation, chemo, surgery, all kinds of things. And so not one journey is going to define the journey of everybody else. And so I want to walk away with, one thing that we all have in common, though, is that when we hear that you have cancer, you're automatically met with this understanding that, we are not guaranteed tomorrow and our life can be taken short. What that encourages you to do is reflect on your life, your decisions, about ways that you want to live, ways that you want to remember. It kind of puts you in this situation where you're thinking about your legacy and what it's going to mean when you're not here. Like, what does it mean? I mean, when I'm gone, what happens? And so we're all kind of faced with that in this situation. And if I can help you think about these things before you're ever confronted with that, when you are confronted with that, you can look back and know that you put some necessary things in place. So we're going to talk about that today. We're not going to go through my entire journey and my experience with cancer. That's another video. But if that's something you want to see, definitely chime in the comment section. Let me know. I'd love to share my story, go through all the details, all the doctors, the costs, and everything else. I documented it all here for you. So that's something for another day. But just for the sake of time, I just want to focus on 3 lessons that cancer taught me about living a life well lived. And the first thing that I came to the realization about is that life is not really about money. And I know that it can be debated, but many of us think about money all the time. We think about our careers in the terms of money. We want to achieve certain things. We think money is the key to happiness and being able to buy things and go out on these experiences. But ultimately, when it came down to it, my wife and I had to sit down and start planning for a life without me. And I started to reflect on the life that I lived and things that were important to me. The money aspect of it was relatively simple. It was pretty cut and dry. Here are my assets. My assets are going to go to my wife. One thing I do want to mention, though, is that you do want to make sure that you have some type of life insurance. I don't know what I would have done without knowing that I had some type of life insurance set aside, because none of us want to leave our loved ones to have to struggle about paying funeral costs and all that other type of stuff. So having a peace of mind knowing that you have life insurance kind of destroys any other concerns about finance. Knowing that I have life insurance that'll take care of my expenses, that can set up my wife and my loved ones to at least be able to have the proper time to grieve and go through it without stressing so much, it alleviated anything else. Anything else that I have on top of that is all gravy. It's a pretty simple cut and dry, like, filling out my will and testament and saying, hey, I want my assets to go to my wife. What was really important during that process was what kind of legacy was I leaving? What would I be known for? What types of things would my kids say about me, right? What kind of relationships did I build throughout life? So one of the first lessons when it comes to living a life well lived, we all have different circles of people. It's friends, it's family, it's even co-workers, anybody that you associate with. Just make sure that you take time to enjoy the moments, that you pour into them, that you're selfless in your actions and your activity, that you spend the time with them, get to know them. If you have words of encouragement, any knowledge, any skills, any experience that you can share to help them along the way, make sure you pour into their lives, right? Because when you're gone, you don't want them to not know who you are. You want them to have fond memories of you. You want them to be able to reflect and have thoughts in their mind of happy times that you spend together. And that's one of the main things that I was really focusing on as I was reflecting on my life. Like, did I spend enough time with my children? Did I spend enough time with my wife? Were the experiences that we shared special together? Will she have some great memories? Were there things that she would be able to laugh at? So I encourage you, while you're healthy, just spend time with your loved ones. Make sure you pour as much into them as you can. Go out and experience different things. Go on walks, go on excursions, take trips, take vacations. Whatever you can, whatever your life can afford, the most important thing is that you do something and do it together with them. The second thing that cancer taught me about living a life well lived is it's really not about where you end up, but it's about the life that you lived on the journey to get there. We all have dreams and ambitions, right? And so the first thing we start thinking about when we're planning our goals and our dreams is, what do we want to do, right? What type of successes do we want to experience? What type of jobs do I want to have? Do I want to create a business? Do I want to, climb Mount Everest or whatever your goals are, whatever your ambitions are? I have a whole video on that. You can make sure you check that out. It's the Feel Good Productivity Goal Planning Method, and I have a Notion template you can download for that, but it gives you a couple of different great prompts on ways that you can define what your goals are and give you your life vision. But oftentimes we think about things that we want to do and things that we want to achieve, right? And that's great if you can accomplish those things, check them off. But ultimately, whether you achieve those things or not is not the point. What I come to realize is that when you're reflecting back on your life, you just want to make sure that you don't have any regrets about not trying to do those things, right? It's not about whether you actually achieve those things, but it's the fact that you are actually implementing and going after those things. There's an old saying that says that it's better to have tried and failed than to have never tried. Because when you don't try some things, when you're confronted with looking back on your life, it's all these I wish I would have, right? It's what or what it would have been if I tried. Eliminate all of those potential questions just by going after it. And when you put in the effort and you go through some things, you're going to make sure that journey itself is what's going to keep you going and keep you motivated. You may not ever get there. You may not achieve it. You may realize that once you get into it, that is something that you really don't enjoy. I've done many things that I realized, hey, I wanted to be a lawyer. I worked at a law firm. I didn't enjoy it. So I moved on. I wanted to become a financial planner. I wanted to be a stock guru, right? Like you see on Wall Street with Gordon Gekko and them. I went, I studied, I passed the exam. I worked in the finance industry for years. At one point in time, I loved it. And then until I didn't love it anymore, and then I moved on. So it's not about did you actually achieve those things, but did you put forth the effort to do it? Did you go out and experience what it's like? Did you learn what you needed to do? Did you put your foot in the ring? Did you go ahead and raise your hand and go ahead and do what you had to do? Did you make the sacrifices on your side to step out of fear and try new things, to learn new things? You never know what life is going to bring your way. Were you able to meet new friends through doing that journey? There are so many relationships that I built just from trying different things. I have lifelong friends today through people that I met through my different phases of life, whether it was in the music industry or in the finance industry, and now in the tech industry and content creation. There's so many people that you'll meet while you're going through these journeys, and these are friendships that you can start building on and experiencing different things with. And that's the important part, is that you go ahead and you put your foot in the ring and you try it. It's not about where you end up, but it's about the journey. And did you enjoy the journey to get there? Third thing that cancer taught me about living a life well lived is that you can't wait. You have to go and you have to start doing it now. You have to live like there is no tomorrow. If there's something that you want to do, start taking action on it today. Don't let your fears hold you back. A lot of us have these fears of failure, or that we're looking like a fool in front of somebody because we're stepping into waters and doing things that we've never done before, and we're scared because we don't know where to start, or we don't want to try something new, or we don't want to put in the effort to learn new things, and we don't want to risk looking like a fool in front of other people, because we all want to look good in front of other people. We all want people to think highly of us. We all want them to, look at us as successes. But ultimately, the best success that you can accomplish in life is making sure that you live your dreams. So go forth and stop making excuses on why you can't do it. Find ways to start today. Time is ticking away. We don't want to run into a situation situation where you know that your life is being cut short and you didn't execute on the things that you want to do, that you didn't pursue the dreams that you wanted to pursue. Pursue them. Do it wholeheartedly. Do it full force. Do it today. Don't waste any time because tomorrow is not guaranteed. So those are some of the lessons that I learned from having cancer and going through this journey of self-reflection. And it's funny enough that as I was going through this whole journey, I was actually in the process of writing a book. And so I was working with a coach that's kind of helping me through it. And the exact topic of that book is about how you have an extraordinary life. And so I'm walking away with some new lessons that I can implement into that. Hopefully that's something that interests you. If it is, you can go ahead and get on the wait list. Just sign up for my newsletter. The link will be down below. That newsletter, I'll give you some constant updates, some tidbits, some little nuggets of information as I work on that and build that out. And then of course, when it's ready, you'll be the first ones to be able to read it. And I really appreciate your support. So that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you can walk away from this video with some ideas, some thoughts on what you can do to make sure that you have a life well lived. Stop worrying about money. Stop worrying about whether you're actually going to execute on your dreams or not. Just enjoy the journey, spend time with your loved ones, and don't waste any time. Do it today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your boy Paul. It's been a pleasure sharing my journey with you. Comment down below. Share your journey with me. Until next time, take care.